Welcome back to Crypto Tutorial. On today's video, I would like to discuss the price action of Binance. Unfortunately, we had a technical difficulty. I wanted to upload two videos, but unfortunately, the first video went wrong. So right now, I will be updating you about Binance. Unfortunately, I do not have a lot of time, but what I would like to show you is actually this major decrease in Binance price action. And as well, what I would like to discuss is not only this, but as well the Bitcoin's price action shortly. What you can clearly see on Bitcoin is that we saw a major decrease start at this point in time. We got rejected at approximately $52,770, and right now we are heading to find support on top of the $50,353, right on top of previous resistance. And you can clearly see that this will be a major level of support. So I personally think that that is the level we are heading towards, and that we could perhaps see afterwards an increase getting started. It's very important to me to actually find support on top of this level. Otherwise, we might create a lower low than the previous low, and that is something I do not want to see right now, because perhaps we might start seeing a decrease in Bitcoin's price action, and that will have a lot of influence as well on all other coins. This being said, I would like to take a look at Binance compared to Bitcoin. You can clearly see that we broke out. We have broken through this horizontal level of support at 0.5 Fibonacci. Unfortunately, we are heading even further towards the downside. We are not able right now to find support on top of previous resistance. This is quite unfortunate, I think, due to the fact that we might perhaps see an even further decline in its strength compared to Bitcoin, heading towards the 0.382. Also, I would like to discuss the moving averages and the MACD on the daily time frame. Starting with the MACD, we clearly saw a crossover on the MACD on the 2nd of September. Afterwards, we have seen major momentum towards the downside. We have not been able to reverse this crossover and give even more upward momentum. We have seen only downward momentum ever since this point in time, and right now we have seen even major decline towards the downside. For sure, I think this will have a lot of influence during the upcoming days, and I think it's very likely that we won't see a crossover anytime soon. So the two scenarios that I am thinking right now is, are we going to find support on top of the 0.382, or are we going to break out even below this level and find support on top of the previous downward sloping resistance and find support on top of this downward sloping support line? If we break underneath this support line, I think it is very likely that we will start to see an even further decline in Binance coin compared to Bitcoin strength, and that is something I think is not very good for the overall market, and as well not good at all for the Binance price action. This being said, I would also like to discuss the moving averages on the daily time frame, and what I think is very important is that the 100-day moving average will be supporting us right on top of the 0.382 Fibonacci level on the Bitcoin chart. And what you could clearly see is that in the past, the 100-day moving average served as a major level of support after we saw this major decline in Binance strength compared to Bitcoin. And as well, in this point in time, even further in the past, we saw as well that the 100-day moving average served as support. This being said, what I think is that this is a major level of support. It's a stronghold, and if we break below this level, we might head all the way towards the 200-day moving average, and that is not something I am actually looking forward to. And I just think that it would be way better if we would hold strong on top of this 0.382 and on top of the 100-day moving average. Of course, if we see a decline all the way towards the 200-day moving average, it will still be a 20% drop from its previous level of resistance, and that is for sure something usual in crypto. So perhaps we might go all the way towards 200-day moving average. I'm in particular not pumped about this scenario, but it is something that could occur, and therefore I'm saying it right now. If we take a look at the Binance compared to USD chart, you can clearly see that the moving averages will be serving as major levels of support as well. I have already drawn a parallel channel on the 4-hourly time frame, and you can clearly see that we could perhaps go all the way towards the 0.382 if we see a breakout outside of this parallel channel. and find support on top of the 50-day moving average, but we could head even further down towards the 0.5 Fibonacci level at $385, and right over there find support on top of the 100-day moving average. For sure, these two scenarios are very likely to occur if we break underneath this ascending support line. This being said, I would like to enable the MACD as well on this chart, and if we take a look at the MACD, you can clearly see that the MACD was heading towards a crossover on the daily time frame, but unfortunately we did not see this occur, and we start to see even more downward momentum getting created, and right now the crossover is quite unlikely to occur. If we take a look at the 4-hourly time frame, you can clearly see that the crossover is as well very unlikely to occur at this point in time, and that we are experiencing major momentum towards the downside. This will have a lot of influence in the overall price action, and I think it is very likely that we will see a breakout occur underneath this horizontal level of support inside of this parallel channel, and that we might see this move getting started eventually if we break out underneath this ascending support. It would look something similar to this, if you ask me, finding resistance once we break out underneath this ascending support and breaking out towards the downside. So if we take a look and measure the scenario towards the 0.382, we would see a decline of approximately 10%, but if we head all the way towards the 0.5 Fibonacci, we would be seeing a decline of almost 16%. For sure, this is still a healthy decline, but what I think is very concerning is that we will be breaking our previous ascending support that is clearly showing us the uptrend. So why I think it is unlikely that we are heading towards the 0.5 Fibonacci is because if we take a look at the RSI, you can clearly see that the RSI is already on the lower part on the purple area, and that we perhaps might not have enough space to break out even further towards the downside and head all the way towards the 0.5 level. This gives me the information needed to actually take a look and analyze if we are going to see a trend reversal occur at the 0.382, what I think is very likely to occur at $417. So lastly, I would like to enable the EMA ribbon, and the EMA ribbon right now is actually not looking very good at all. We were not able to find support on top of it. Unfortunately, right now we are breaking out below the EMA ribbon, and the EMA ribbon will serve as a major level of resistance for sure. That is something I would like to assure you right away. I personally think that we won't have enough strength in the short term to actually break out above the EMA ribbon immediately. I think the EMA ribbon will serve as a level of resistance before, and afterwards, perhaps after retesting it for the second time, we might be able to break out above it on the third retest. But I don't think a V-shaped recovery is very likely to occur at this point in time, and that we will be able to find actually support on top of the EMA ribbon very shortly, and as well on top of this ascending support line. Thank you very much for watching the video, and have a nice day. Yeah, I've been on Uniswap, now I'm out on one edge. Used to trade centralized.